Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I want to talk to you today about how you need to be getting ready because from the feedback that I get, there is definitely some of you out there that are working really hard, and not only are you prepping, but you're actually training. And then some of you, you're trying, you're not really sure how to do it, but you're kind of working on it. And then there's others that unfortunately you're not really out there actively training. And the big problem is that so many people are just unsure of exactly how they need to be training anyways. And while I'm no expert on this, I have done it a while, and I have personally been pushing myself to up my training quality and the repetition to how I train. And I'm not just talking going out and walking in the morning. I'm talking about actually getting out in the woods, going to different places, not just on my own property, and getting out there and getting better at moving around, getting better at my skills, getting more used to the environment that I'm around, because this is part of my AO, my area of operations. Whether it's on my property or not, it's areas directly around me that I could find myself in, and I need to become more prepared and better ready and know how to handle moving around in those areas. As individuals, there's a certain level of training that we need to work on, but then as groups, we also need to be working together as cohesive units that are capable of going out and completing a task, having a mission and being able to successfully complete it. That mission may just be to protect a home. It may be to take a certain property or to retake something, or just to defend it from oncoming marauders. Whatever it is, we need to be training as groups on how to do this, because the real possibility of the situation that we're in getting worse and worse, I think it's getting pretty high, and we need to take things seriously. There's another YouTuber, a very, very big YouTuber. I'm not going to mention his name, but you're going to know who I'm talking about. He was once known as the modern homesteader, and now he's the professional homeowner. Not to steal his coined phrase there, because I didn't create this, someone else did. But what we really need to be is professional citizens. Some of you are former military and former law enforcement, and you have certain levels of training. Some of you are not. The thing is the thing that we are facing, the storm that is coming upon us, we're all going to be citizens. None of you are going to be civilians. None of you are going to be military or police. You're going to be citizens. You're going to be citizens defending your home, defending your rights, and defending the loved ones around you. And we need to become professional citizens. We're all already citizens, but we need to become professional. An organized, unorganized, professional citizen. Some people might call that Minutemen. Some people may even call it militia. But what we need to do as small groups is to train professionally for the job at hand. And you may not have that kind of professional training. You may not know what you're exactly supposed to do. You're just, watching videos like this and you're trying to learn. Maybe no one in your group has that level of professional training that they can bestow upon you and help you out and show you what you need to do. There are resources out there. I was sent a book, and this is where I got the coined term from. I was sent a book, and I just, I'm not making any money talking about it. I just want to share this with you because I think that it has a very valuable place with a lot of you. Let me put it up to the camera, let you see it. It is the Professional Citizens Project, Citizen Manual, Individual Tactics and Skills. This is the first one. It's the only one out. I hope, and I believe the plan is for them to continue making more. This is very much like a standard military style training manual, except it's directed towards citizens. Citizens that they may not understand all the lingo. They haven't gone through all the training that someone would if they were given, say, an Army Ranger manual and say, here, you need to read this and you need to know how to do this kind of stuff. Or a land nav manual or something else. This is for just regular folks. Yes, the tactics in it are very much out of military tactics because those are proven tactics. You know, we're not trying to recreate the wheel, but this is written in a way that the average person, and it's got pictures and graphs and all kinds of stuff, but it's written in a way that the average person can understand it and actually put it to good use. It's at www.tpcproject.com. www.tpcproject.com. I would suggest going and looking at it. I think it's like $22. Seems to be a pretty good read. I'm only into maybe the second chapter, but it's definitely has some good information. But the point is, and of course that has kind of inspired this video, although the things that I'm speaking of I've already been doing, is for us to become more organized in our training. We need to understand what we're doing, especially as groups. Not all of you have groups, but a lot of you that say you don't have a group, it's a husband and wife, and that's a group. It's a husband and wife and children, that's a group also. And it may just be a husband and wife and the next door neighbor or the brother or the sister. That's a group also. And so whatever group you're in, you need to be training for what is coming, not just sitting around the campfire and saying, yeah, you know, I've got this amount of ammo, and you know, occasionally we go on a little walk, occasionally we go shoot at some targets, and we're ready. We need to be training like we're ready, and we need to be putting forth the effort to get ourselves to a place that we can be considered, or at least ourselves considered, a professional citizen, ready to defend the home, to take care of the home, and to take care of those around us. Simple things like, has your group done a MET-TC analysis? Have you, you know, what is your mission as a group? You know, what's your mission? What is your plan? What are you there as a group to do? What enemy may you come up against? Have you done an analysis on that and figured out what kind of enemy you might face? Is it the drug dealers that live a few miles away? Is it Antifa or some other extreme group? Is it the government? What is it that you think that you might have to face? What about the terrain? Have you done analysis on the terrain and what you might have to go out in? I mean, today it's pretty warm. Thankfully, I picked a spot, intelligently, I picked a spot under these trees, so it's not too bad right here in the shade, but it is very hot and humid. It's in the 90s today. How many of you do most of your training as a group in the spring and the fall when the weather's nice? How many of you get out when it's in the 90s and the humidity is above 50% and it's just flat out miserable and dangerous? How many of you get out in that weather? What about when it's really cold and you can't hardly move and breathe because it burns your lungs because the wind is so cold? Do you get out in those times? Because bad things don't just happen when the weather's nice. You need to get out in the bad weather and you need to get to train. What about the troops? Is that you and your wife? Is that your group? Have you done an analysis on them and figured out what you have, what equipment you have? Is there any uniformity in your equipment? Do you train together? Do you understand how to work together as a team? Have you built some cohesiveness in your unit? You should be. What about time? What's the time span that you figure that you would have between now and these things might happening? Of course, you don't know exactly, but it gives you a better idea of how much longer you have to get prepared. And then also, what about the civilians around you, the people? You know, you're going to have to deal with that. You're not off in some foreign war where, of course, you still have civilians, but where you may not worry much about that. You have neighbors all around you. If things happen, how do they fit into it? Ones that aren't prepared, or maybe prepared a little. Maybe, you know, they're like-minded in a lot of ways. They just didn't really want to be part of your little group. How are you going to handle that when it all hits the fan? Do you as a group do sit reps analysis on your group? Do you every month do a situational report determining where your group is, how far you've gone, what kind of training have you done in that month? Where is your level of preparedness and skill as a group? Have you set up an intelligence gathering? within your group? Do you have some kind of standardized way to do that? Or as a group, are you working on some level of diplomacy? Maybe not officially, but are you, as a group of individuals, talking to people around you, just kind of opening that door? You know, if things get bad, you know, we could all do this. If things get bad, we need to use this radio frequency. If things get bad, you know, we should probably shut that road down up there. Are you doing that kind of stuff as a group? Because these are the kinds of things that you need to be doing. This book that I'm telling you about, it'll teach you some of that stuff. But this is the kind of stuff as a group that you should be doing on a regular basis. You should be getting out there. I should be getting out here more. Right now, I've upped it to probably 2 or 3 times a week that I'm coming out to this spot, which you don't know where that's at, or various other spots in my area. And I get out and I walk, and I get to know the area, because training, again, isn't just using one of these. It's not just shooting at some paper targets. And even moving and shooting, it's not just about shooting. Yeah, sure, this is part of it. You absolutely want to increase your proficiency of how to use these tools. But training isn't just that. Training is getting out and understanding where how the terrain goes. Have you done that? Do you know where all the creeks and the ravines are in your area? Do you know if there's any caves in your area? Do you know where the creeks are? Do you know where fences are? Do you know where the highways and the culverts are in your area? So that in case you need to use them or avoid them, you should be doing that. You should be doing that on a regular basis. Do you know how to go out and kind of survive if you need to? What if you and your family need to get out of your home because of a natural disaster, or because bad guys are just pouring up your driveway and you need to evacuate? And you need to run out in these woods and maybe survive for a while. Do you know how to do that? Do you have a place set up? Do you have something cached out here in the woods so that your plan is for your family to go run to that place and you have some supplies? Are you doing that? Maybe, maybe not. You should be thinking about it at least. And I would strongly encourage you to be doing some of these things, if not all and more. Because the world is rapidly changing. And the very real likelihood that we could be putting these skills to use is becoming more and more likely. I've gotten communications from several people over the last few days. Some of it, of course, well, most of it I can't verify, and some of it I don't know if it's just who they are or anything, but I have had a few things come to me from very reputable sources that even if I mentioned their name, you would recognize the name. They're that well known. And I'm not saying this to make myself look important or saying this for you to believe me, because in the end, it doesn't matter who they are. You don't know exactly if what they're saying is correct. Maybe they was fed incorrect information. The point to my rambling is I've been getting a lot of information on things that indicate that the bad times may just be around the corner. They may not be. I know that there's going to be several of you, because there have been lately in the comments, oh, we've been hearing this for years. We've been hearing about all these bad times for years. That's true. But in my defense, the times have gotten worse. And at some point, things are just kind of fall off the cliff. Even in the news today, one of the big, I can't remember the name, P&G, maybe is the name that sounds familiar to me, but it was one of the big credit analysts or something like that, actually said that if BRICS does come out with a gold-backed currency, that it will be the beginning of the end of the U.S. dollar. And that's a big, like, Wall Street level, entity. Like I talked about this morning, the amount of illegals pouring into this country and how many of them are Chinese and Russian. And there's more and more little nuggets of whispers, of rumors of intelligence coming out that these folks are, in fact, going around the country and positioning themselves strategically in places as if they're getting ready to do something. If these things happen, and many more, I mean, I've only mentioned a couple of possibilities. The tactics and the training that I'm speaking of in this video are going to become very valuable. And you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, I should have done more than just every once in a while shooting a few rounds downrange to the paper targets. I should have actually gotten out and trained and practiced. I should have gotten better with my group. Our group should have done more than just sitting around having a few beers every once in a while talking about all the stuff that's going on. It's game time is about here, folks. It's time to get ready for it. It's time to take it serious. In the end, if we're wrong, if I'm wrong, what's it cost you? Well, you got a little exercise in. You got a little bit better at a skill. You got away from the phones and the TVs, and you got out in nature. You just got better prepared overall for when it does happen. You know, I can't promise you that it's going to be a smooth ride, and I can't promise you that it's going to be the worst in the world. But it does look like things are actually rapidly increasing, and we need to get serious and become a professional citizen, because that's the title that we should actually aspire to. That's not a downgrade. Some of you guys are, I was a retired officer, I'm not going to be no professional citizen. Honestly, as an American, there's probably no greater achievement than to be a professional citizen, someone that is capable with skill and knowledge and equipment and prepared to defend your family, your home, and those around you. I mean, that's better than anything. So get out there and get yourself even more prepared. I recommend this book. I'll leave a link down in the description below to the website. Get your houses in order, folks. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Folks, we are living in uncertain times where chaos seems to be around every corner. With wars and rumors of wars, economic collapse, pandemics, and more, we should strive daily to become more prepared mentally, physically, and of course spiritually. Please check out My Patriot Supply for all your preparedness needs. My Patriot Supply offers Ready Hour food, Alexa Pure water filters, and many other emergency and survival products. My Patriot Supply is an American-owned company, run by Americans producing American-made food. Emergency food from My Patriot Supply has a 25-plus year shelf life. It's simple to fix and delicious to eat. With My Patriot Supply, you can sleep at ease at night knowing that you and your family have the emergency food to last through the coming times. To find out more, click on the link in the description below or go to preparewithtravis.com.